Welcome to Lawo's VSM video training series on panel building. In this video, we're going to focus on an introduction to simple panel building skills by starting to build a hardware panel for signal routing. At this stage, we're going to focus on panels used for routing. VSM panels can be used for a variety of other functions besides routing, including GPIO control or parameter control, like color correctors or audio delays. But in this example, we'll just focus on signal routing. Notice this icon in the toolbar. This is one way that we can open the panels list. Let's click on that. Here you will find a list of all the panels in your facility, organized by both a unique name and also its unique panel ID number. By right-clicking in this window, you'll be given the option to create a new panel. Let's give this new panel the ID number of 2 and give it the name Router XY, because we will build a router panel for both sources and destinations. Of course, you can use any name you want, whatever makes sense for your project. There are several different options available to you on the panel properties page. Some of them include the Return to Idle drop-down option, where you can select a timeout where after a certain determined length of inactivity, the panel returns back to the main idle page. This would bring the panel back to page 1 after a certain amount of inactivity, which you can specify here. You can also tell the panel to go into what might be called a screensaver mode or switch to dark, again after a certain amount of inactivity defined by the time options in this window. You also have some checkboxes, such as to perform connects when the buttons are pressed, or automatically open the panel when loading the configuration. We'll talk about the Join Panel option a little bit later, and then further down, you can allow VSM panel specific buttons and items. This tells VSM to allow VSM panel specific buttons to be made available in the panel creation process. For now, we will not check this box, but we will talk about this feature in a subsequent training video. Leaving this checkbox unchecked means that we can only connect to hardware panels at this time with this configuration. However, this panel that we are building can be opened up in a soft panel environment, but do note that there are certain soft panel features that absolutely cannot display on hardware panels. A great example would be resizing of buttons. You can resize buttons in the VSM panel environment, but you cannot resize physical buttons on a hardware panel. The next checkbox is called, where possible, let VSM panel render labels. Of course, this also only applies to VSM panels because hardware panels automatically have hard labels. You'll see more about this coming up. The VSM panel selection style is again another feature that we'll talk about later for VSM panels. The next section is DAS, which stands for Dynamic Attachment Scripts. And further down is Mimic Enable. These are all more advanced, more powerful features that we'll talk to in subsequent videos. For now, let's click OK and then define some more details of our new panel. Here you will find a variety of pre-configured panel sizes, specifically panels designed for LSB hardware panels, and also various sizes for screen panels for the VSM panel software environment. You can also customize. For example, in a 19-inch wide environment, the LBP17 is a lighted button panel which has 17 buttons on it. Pretty self-explanatory. For this configuration we're working on, let's use an LBP51. That creates a nice environment where you have 3 rows of 17 buttons each, which gives us some room to work with on a hardware panel. The additional screen panel sizes here are for VSM panel, which could be a touchscreen or a computer with a keyboard and a mouse, or perhaps a tablet like a Microsoft Surface. We'll get to these on subsequent training videos. As you see, you can also define your own resolution for VSM panels for custom projects. So let's click OK, and then notice immediately the template opens up. Here we have 3 rows of 17 buttons each, which can be used in any way we wish.